Yes guys, this is Pete and this is my point of view on United's upcoming game versus Everton in the third round of the FA Cup. Before we get into it, today's video is sponsored by Ball Tactics. Head over to their website for match previews and reviews with some tongue-in-cheek humour and a great insight into the game. The link's in the description below. I really encourage you guys to check it out. They put out some really good stuff. Some of it's quite funny. Check it out because they've been kind enough to sponsor me for today's video. So today's video, we're just going to go into my thoughts on the upcoming game, my predicted 11 and score prediction, and then just some of your guys' thoughts through Twitter, just through a post that I put out there with my predicted 11. So obviously my thoughts on the game for United. Obviously, you know, Ten Hag wants to win trophies. I think he's going to go with a pretty strong team. We're coming up against an Everton side that have been struggling a little bit of late with a manager that might be on his way out. So I think that Ten Hag's going to put out a strong squad and go for the jugular. I think that we could see quite a convincing win if the players he picks play well. So yeah, I'll tell you what my team is, and then I'll go more into what my thoughts of the game are after that. So in net, I've gone for De Gea. Obviously at the moment I don't think we've got a good enough backup goalie. There's rumours that we're going to be looking at Jack Butland, which I think is a bit of a strange one, but I think obviously we just need a body in place as a backup, and he's not a bad keeper, so we'll have to see what happens there. So yeah, I'd pick De Gea in net. I think is the only option really, so that's why he's in there. And obviously in the last game he was great. In the last couple of games he's been superb, keeping lots of clean sheets, making lots of good saves. So that's why I pick him. Then at right back, I'd go for Dalot. I think obviously he's coming back from injury. I think maybe he'll start and maybe get about 60 minutes just to push his fitness onto that next level. Obviously he had half an hour the other day. And if obviously he looked good. Obviously Wan-Bissaka's been really good. So if Ten Hag does stick with Wan-Bissaka, I won't really gripe too much because he has filled in well. But I think Dalot is just that little bit more quality, and I think he'll start. Then at right centre back, I've gone for Varane. I think obviously he missed the last game, and Lindelof and Maguire played. I just think that Varane will start, and then I think he'll play Lindelof and Maguire in the Carabao Cup game we've got against Charlton, in my opinion. So, and obviously Varane gives us a lot of things. He's quick, he's good in the air. You know, he'll be able to deal with Calvert-Lewin if he plays, and Mopé if he plays as well. You know, he's got a lot to his game, and he can deal with a lot of different type players. And then next to him, I've gone for our World Cup winner, Lisandro Martinez. I think, obviously, he had a few minutes the other day. I think, again, he might get about 60 minutes just to, get his fitness up, to get him ready for that City game that we've got coming after the Carabao Cup game. So that's why I'd pick him. And then at left back, I've gone for Malacia. Obviously, Shaw was superb the other day at left back, but I think you might give Malacia a game in this one. Still a good player. Still gives us enough going forward. Maybe not as much as Shaw, but still a player I'm excited to see play and develop. I think there's a great fullback in there. I think we just need to see that. And then moving into midfield, I've gone for Casemiro as the holder. He's been superb. I don't want to see him out of the team. Some people in the comments I'm going to have later have said about bringing McTominay in, and if he does that I won't obviously be too thingy, but I just think Casemiro gives us so much control, breaks up the play really well and sets off our attacks really well, so that's why I keep him in the team. Then next to him I've gone for Fred. When Fred came on the other day, he had a great substitute appearance. The last couple of sub appearances he had have been really good, so I think he might be worth his start. Obviously sometimes Fred can be a bit hit and miss, but I'd give him a chance in this game. Then in front of them, I've gone for Fernandes, only because Donny van de Beek got injured, and I don't think that he's going to be playing for a little while, possibly. So yeah, that's the reason why I've gone for Fernandes. I don't think we've got anyone we can replace him with, so that's why I've gone with Fernandes. And obviously he was really good the other day anyway. And I think he's going to start finding his stride and providing more goals. He's had quite a few assists, but now I think we might start seeing a few goals going in from Fernandes soon. I think he's starting to get into something like his best form. Then on the right hand side, I've gone for Anthony. Obviously didn't play the other day, had a small injury, but I'm hoping that he's over that now. Obviously we'll find out in the manager's press conference in a little while, but this is before then, so that's what I'm going for Anthony. I just think that he'll play Anthony on the right, give Rashford a rest because obviously he's been playing on the right lately, Rashford, and I think he'll give Rashford a rest. Then on the left-hand side, I've gone for Garnacho. Obviously, in the few starts Garnacho's actually made, he's not kind of laid up in the same way as he does when he comes off the bench. So I'm kind of interested to see whether he can do it from the start of the game. Obviously, he's still a kid, and right now it might be best for him to be an impact substitute, but I just want to see whether he can do it in this game. I think there's a quality player there. I think if he carries on the same trajectory, he's going to be an absolute world beater. But it's just going to be interesting to see whether he can, push on and start games for us and still affect games in the same way. But I've gone for Garnacho out on the left. And then up front, I've stuck with Martial. Obviously didn't have a great game the other day, but I think he's still working his way back from fitness a little bit. And I think that once he gets going, I think he's going to score a hatful. Obviously, a lot of people are jumping on his back on Twitter, but that's just Twitter. It's a bit toxic at times. But I honestly think that he is going to start scoring soon. So that's why I've gone for him. And also, I don't think we've got any other option unless you pay Rashford up the middle, which is a possibility. But I'd go for Martial, give him more game time. So yeah, that's my team. Obviously, my thoughts on the game. If we play that midfield two of Fred and Casemiro, I think we'll dominate the midfield. Hopefully with fullbacks pushing on, pressing high. I hope we see some lovely football like we did the other day. Obviously, with Eriksen out of the team, you do lose a bit of creativity. But if Fred has a good game, he can provide that, as you've seen when he had that in that substitute appearance the other day. So it just depends on which Fred turns up in the midfield. And obviously, if Casemiro starts, you get a lot of creativity from here as well, and Fernandes has bundles of it. So I still think we'll create enough chances against a struggling Everton side. Obviously, Everton do pose a threat. They have Damari Gray, who's pretty rapid. They have Calvert-Lewin up front, who, on his day is a good player, but he's, come back from injury and not found the same form he had before the injury. But we'll have to see how Everton line up. Obviously, they've still got Lampard in charge for now. And they look like they're really struggling for confidence, so we're just going to have to see, because they got dominated by Brighton the other day quite convincingly. Also, I think they've not got a bad defensive line. They've got Tarkowski and Cody, but I think we can exploit them. Like, they're good defenders, but I don't think they're super quick. So I think we could exploit them with pacing behind, depending on who we play. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the game. Now I'm just going to go quickly into some of your guys' thoughts off Twitter, just regarding the tweet I put out there and stuff. So the first tweet I got was from @Leacher Magic, and he said, "Fred Miro ball, I'm here for it." Obviously, looking forward to the prospect if my lineup comes to Fred and Casemiro playing together. I'm actually quite excited to see that partnership, because obviously they do it for Brazil, and they have played well together before. So that's just my thoughts that I'd like to see them play together. So the next tweet I got was from @your_red_icon20, and he said, "Garnacho isn't a decent starter. He has been poor when starting games," which is something I do agree with. He's not been at his best. He's been more of an impact sub, which obviously at his age and with the amount of pace he's got, he can frighten the fullbacks, especially if any fullbacks have been booked and then you bring him on, they look terrified of his pace. And the other day he got 2 of Bournemouth's fullbacks booked, so we'll have to see how he does. Obviously, Everton's fullback down that side, I think it's Seamus Coleman who plays on their right side. So I think that Garnacho can have him on toast if he has a good game. So that's why I'd like to see him start anyway. Obviously, I respect all your guys' opinions who disagree with my lineups and stuff. So the next tweet was from @Anirban 04199677, and he said, given Everton's recent form, I would say 2-0 too. So obviously agree. Oh yeah, I didn't give my score prediction. My score prediction, by the way, guys, because I didn't give it before after I put my lineup out, is 2-0. So he said he agrees with 2-0, and he says, I love your lineup idea, as Ten Hag is kind of taking every competition seriously in order to get hands on silverware, which is something I think he desperately wants. I think he knows we're a little bit off it in the league, and I think he wants a trophy to kind of show that he's here to compete and that he can get this United team back to being successful. And then he goes on to say, I think he may choose a back 2 of Martinez and Lindelof, obviously disagreeing that Varane will start, and maybe McFred in the midfield, giving a rest to Casemiro. And these are all things that he could do, obviously, just to keep control of the midfield. That's why I went for Casemiro. Obviously, McTominay is not a bad player, but I just think you lose the creativity when you've got McTominay in the team from that deeper role, because he's all sideways and backwards. Obviously, sometimes he does make decent runs into the box, and I see him more as an 8 than a 6. So, obviously, if he does go Fred and McTominay, it just gives me nightmares from the performances we seen last season. So that's why I'd obviously just have Fred and Casemiro. Then the next tweet was from @Martinez SZN, and he said, I think we'll win 4-0, to be honest. Everton coming to us in terrible form, and with Lampard still in charge. Plus, we'll put out a strong team versus them, I think. Up the Reds. Obviously, I do agree that we will put out a strong team, and I do also think we could win quite comfortably. It all depends on the team that Erik Ten Hag puts out. If he puts out our strongest team, I think we'll batter them 4 or 5-0, but obviously with a few tweaks, I've gone a bit conservative with 2-0. And then the last tweet that I got was from @OliverLaRue1, and he said, I would replace Casemiro for McTominay. Unfortunately, we can't rest Bruno, which I agree with. I just think Bruno offering what he does for us with the risks he takes and the way he plays, I can't see us shuffling it about. Maybe you could have Eriksen at 10, but I don't think Ten Hag likes to play him there. I think he likes him in that deeper role. So yeah, I totally agree. I don't think we'll rest Bruno. So yeah, that's your guys' thoughts, and I really thank all you guys that drop these tweets. Obviously, I do put my Twitter handle in all the video descriptions. If anyone's new to the channel and you want to get involved on Twitter, because I can't do lives right now, so obviously it just gives me a way to still have interaction with you guys, and I really appreciate it. So thanks for that. Obviously, thanks for tuning into the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Obviously, the more subscribers I get, the better. Once I get over 50, I can start doing the lives, because I do it all through my mobile, and YouTube for some reason won't let me live stream until I've got 50 subscribers through my mobile. So that's one of the reasons why I want to push up past that total. And obviously, every person that subscribed just means the world to me, because I never thought I'd get 1 subscriber. I am trying to work on being less boring and stuff, so hopefully that's gonna progress and try and make the videos a bit better. Try and bring my sense of humour through a little bit more when the opportunity presents itself. But I think that'll come out a lot more if I can get to those 50 subscribers and have live chats and with you guys. That for me will make my personality come out more, I think. So hopefully we can get there. And obviously I just want to build a community. I'm just a football fan, just a United fan, and it's great to have other United fans to know that I can talk to people that are commenting on Twitter, and I really appreciate that. So that's the video, guys. Obviously I'm hoping for a big performance, good win. Honestly, going off the performance we put in the other day, I think we're starting to play more like a Ten Hag team, and I hope that carries on. So catch me on the match reaction that I'll post maybe the day after the game, just because I do my videos in the daytime when my kids are in school. So just keep a lookout for that, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace. Cheers.